We are here. We are back, man. Summer Madness 12. Chess got back in town last night, man. Shout out to the URL. Shout out to the URL. It was a movie, man. Shout out to my brother Deadass Talk. Shout out to my other brother Showtime SP from Vitalfly's channel, man. We were in Charlotte, man, Friday through Monday. Enjoyed the festivities from the VIPs with the Geeky Gotti weekend. From the meet and greet with gun titles the whole weekend, man. It was a movie. But you see the title. We in the building. We in the building. Summer Madness 12, Charlotte. Shout out to everybody I met down there, man. Met so many people, man. So many followers. Tried to give away as much stuff as I possibly could while I was there. But it was a movie, though. But let's get straight into it. Tsu Surf versus JC. This was a battle that a lot of y'all said was going to be a lot better than it actually was. Shout out my brother Bumpy Bars. Bumpy, we got to get you back out there, man. We got to get you outside on the Summer Madness. So you seen how we was doing there, man. You seen how we was living. Just tap in with me. But in the building, we big this Tsu Surf JC battle up to just be this, to really be something it was not. I think when you take a harder look at the circumstances in which that battle was surrounded by, we should have known this was going to happen. We should have known that a 75% Tsu Surf could beat JC. Why? Let's run it back. Let's run it back. Ultimate Madness tournament, right? Battle had ice in a smaller type room setting. Debatable battle. He won the judge. He won the judge's decision. She Happens versus JC. Another heavily debated battle. He wins judge's decision. Known battling Swamp for $120,000. I had Swamp up 2-0 going into the third. Me personally, I had Swamp going up 2-0 going into the third. But it's definitely a debatable battle. It's definitely a battle that we can talk about either way it goes. But obviously, JC won that. So you get to Summer Madness. Now, let's instead of talking about the things we don't like about JC's performance, let's talk about what we did like first. First and foremost, I love the fact that he was angling. But the thing about when you're angling somebody like a Tsu Surf, somebody, I'm going to say this within the gun titles regime, within that faction, you got to be willing to go there with your angles. All those angles that JC threw at us in the first, he could have spread those angles out over the course of 3 rounds, going into detail about those angles, going into details and creating and painting a picture. That's what you do best, JC. You paint pictures. You're supposed to be this. You are an elite pen. I'm not even going to say you're supposed to be. You are an elite pen. You're supposed to be able to paint pictures. Why you were unable to do that for the course of 3 rounds, it boggles my mind. I'm not going to lie to you. And I told y'all, it's more than his pace, man. It's more than his pace. We knew that he was going to have to pick up his pace. Everybody's been saying it, from the writers to the punchers to the performers to the fans. He had to pick up his pace. We needed to see him shift gears. Not saying he had to emulate AMG mode, but you got to get into certain pockets. You cannot consistently rap at a steady, slow pace for 3 rounds. Not on a big stage. Not on a big stage when you got fans that have literally, some of the dudes that were sitting in the front and in the pit had been there since 6:30 in the morning. The battles didn't get over till 11. So you telling me that you got people that were standing up for over 12 hours? You think we about to just cheer for the basic jargon you normally throw out there? This is Summer Madness. You did something different, but you did it at a very low accuracy rate, a terribly low accuracy rate. You play right into Tsu Surf's hands. Why are you wearing a Miri? Why are you wearing buffs? And furthermore, why are you wearing a Miri that don't even fit? You telling me you went out there and bought a 2X shirt going again? Well, you a medium. You a medium hoodie, JC. And you know why? You want to know why his energy was way off? He was there since 3 o'clock. Think about that. He was on his feet since 3 o'clock. Probably didn't start the battle till 10:15. That's 7 hours walking around, talking to people, wasting your energy. It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense. JC played right into Tsu Surf's hands. You did what everyone else does. Why does everyone throw all their materials, all their best angles into one round? Why not spread it out? If you are an elite pin, show us that. You tried to show us that you were an angler, which you are not. You could have set up your angles, then used your pen to elaborate on said angles. It would have went over a lot better, because we're not going to act like JC first round wasn't fired, because it was. But the problem was you couldn't sustain it over the course of 3 rounds. Not in the building. Don't know what it looked like on cam, but in the building, you could not sustain it. So much so, I sat down, and I hate to say this, but I sat down on a Tsu Surf versus JC battle. And it wasn't Tsu Surf's fault. It was JC's fault. There was no energy in that. After you threw out the new fresh angles, you had nothing. And I told y'all this battle was about believability versus fantasy. And the first thing Tsu Surf do is lift up his shirt when he rapping, showing you his zipper, negating everything you talking about. No, I appreciate the Trap House. Keep the algorithm going, my boy. Keep the algorithm going. Apply big pressure. That's what we're here to do today, this morning. Apply big pressure. And do y'all know who else was in the room to witness this savagery? Now, when I say you can hear a pin drop after the battle, shout out Vitafly, shout out Showtime. If you go to their recap of the JC versus Tsu Surf, I'm with Showtime, and I'm saying we're in the back. We in VIP with the other battle rappers, with the rest of the elite in the battle rap community, and you could hear a pin drop. Why could you hear a pin drop? Why could you hear a pin drop, JC? Because everyone was quiet. It was like going to a funeral, and you being the pin got your ass dropped on stage. 3-0, clear. And the problem is, Tsu Surf only did this at a 75% effort. With 75% effort, he 30 JC. If you look at Summer Madness 11, the John battle, then you look at Summer Madness 12, the JC battle, you cannot tell me that there are stark contrasts in the performance from Tsu Surf. JC, he not only took you, he took you while he was getting ready for Rolling Loud. He not only took you, he took you while he was shooting a documentary following him between his performance at Summer Madness going into Rolling Loud. JC, he took you at 75%. 75%. And to make matters worse, Loaded Lux was in the building. Now, JC, a lot of people were saying if you beat Tsu Surf, Lux had to come outside. Do you think he's coming outside now? Realistically, do you think he's coming outside right now? Do you think? I don't think so. For what? No one wants a snooze fest. No one wants a snooze fest. JC, you got to listen to the people. When people are saying that we need moments, give us moments. Give us moments. The entire battle rap community told you how to make this a fight for weeks. Pay attention to your Twitter. Pay attention to the blogs. People were saying you were the best pin in battle rap. Some people were picking you to win, to beat a Tsu Surf, but you weren't going to beat him for a multitude of reasons. One, we just go with star power. It's hard to believe you're a Miri when your Miri's too big. It looked like you got your Big Brothers and Miri hoodie on. I don't believe you. Your buffs are slipping when you're rapping. That doesn't happen to Calico. Calico been wearing buffs for years. It don't happen to Calico when he rap. Why are the buffs not fitting JC? Because you didn't fit that image that you tried to display on camera. That's why. It was a symbolism of the battle. Your outfit was a symbolism of the battle. It just didn't fit. It just didn't fit. Make sure y'all thumbing up the video too. We'll be back tonight with a live recap. Me and my brother Deadass Talk. We'll be going into very grave details about Summer Madness and recapping that. Oh yeah, we're gonna get into it. We're gonna get into the nooks and the crannies of Summer Madness, because we was at Summer Madness 11 and we was at Summer Madness 12. So we can talk about both of them. And we can talk about the contrast and we can compare that. But it was very simple. The lack of star power. The believability. I keep telling y'all, I do not believe JC. And this was a perfect example of that. A perfect example of that. He had fresh angles. He had fresh material. The PPP loan accusation, we had never heard that. Calling out Tsu Surf for being a 60s Crip and living on the East Coast. We had nobody talk about that. But you got to elaborate. You wasn't supposed to give us short answers. You were supposed to give us a soliloquy, an essay. You were supposed to do what others couldn't. But when it comes to these in-game or these grudge matches, quote unquote, these grudge matches with Tsu Surf, he's 3-0. He's 3-0 in these so-called grudge matches with 2 30s on his belt. Y'all not understanding. When it comes to this big stage, you gotta have moments. You gotta have moments. Like, I'm in the building, so I can't give you bars, but I can give you moments when I talk about the Tsu Surf battle, when I can talk about his round. He beat you with a round and a half. He beat you with a round and a half, and I can say that comfortably because Tsu Surf was on Twitter doing on his campaign run of success, which he should be. Shout out to Tsu Surf. And he was talking to A-Verb. They had a very interesting conversation. He told Verb, I only give you the rounds that you deserve. I think about that. I only give you the rounds you deserve. John, you deserve 3 rounds. You deserved 3 rounds, John. Calico, you deserved 3 rounds. New Jersey Twerk, you got 2 rounds. That's all he needed. Cortez, you got 2 rounds. That's all he needed. JC, you got a round and a half. You got a round and a half. His first round, he lifted your soul. He lifted your soul in the first round, and he was on cruise control because he knew you can't go the distance with a Tsu Surf. Not on a big stage. And I saw your quote. Your quote, shout out LTBR. Your quote to Hip Hop is Real was egregious. Blasphemy. I almost want to say a flat out lie. It was definitely cap. The room wasn't trying to give you a chance. The room was worried about who was saying the message and not the message that was being communicated. That is cap. It was quiet in that room. We gave you the chance. First round. You got your material off. We love the material. Again, it wasn't enough. You probably should have went second. If Tsu Surf does all what he does in that first round and you go second and you bark on him to the manner that which you did, we remember those things. We remember those things. I can give you moments. He lifted your soul in that first round, and it didn't come back in the second round. It didn't come back in the third round. You was breakdancing on stage. Are you shitting me? Thank you, Anonymous Jenkins. Thank you. What have I been saying when y'all talk about Tsu Surf? Y'all act like he don't got a pen himself. Just because his pen is not his number one trait, is not the attribute he's known most for doesn't mean that the pen ain't there. When you talk performance, you talk believability, star power, presence, aura. You gotta talk about his pen. He don't even angle. That's the crazy. He doesn't even get into personal angles. But he's electric on stage. He is like a lightning rod of just energy. He knows how to manipulate the crowd. He knows, like, even the subtle move, even just lifting up his shirt, showing us the zipper before, while he's rapping in his intro, already negating everything you possibly could have said about him. Let me read. Anonymous Jenkins, man, I appreciate what you're doing in the chat, my boy. Miss New York, how you doing, Queen? What's the word? What is the word? Anonymous says JC has very low IQ because he had no idea how to incorporate that random ass popping lock. I'm trying to tell you. And who listened to your rounds? Who told you that material, since that's what we got to focus in on, we knew you weren't going to win performance-based, but that material was going to beat Tsu Surf. Now, I see your manager going back and forth with Daylight on Twitter. Daylight asking, who the hell listened to JC material? Who the hell gave him the thumbs up on that material, saying this material can beat Tsu Surf? They lied. Flat out. They lied. It wasn't enough. I don't even think you're going to win in the circumstance that you normally do win, which is the playback. Because I don't know how many people are going to watch this battle again. I'm being honest. How can you win on the playback if nobody watches the battle? And even on the playback, you're not going to do enough to completely turn around a 30. You're not going to do enough on the playback to turn around a 30. So you got Loaded Lux in the building watching this massacre on stage. And he thinking, well, when I battle Surf, I got him up out of here. You battle Surf, he lifted your soul. I'm telling you right now, that JC versus Loaded Lux battle, I don't see it happening. If you watch JC's 3 rounds on a big stage, why would you want to see him and Loaded Lux on a big stage? Maybe in a small room, but even with that, the material got to be exciting. I don't have time to be looking through the dictionary, looking through the thesaurus for understanding of what your bars meant when I've been standing up in the venue for 8 hours, 10 hours. When you talk about the crowd, that's the biggest takeaway that I do have when we talk about the crowd and how the crowd was. Take into account, if you've never been to an event, just stand on your feet. Stand on your feet for 10 straight hours and tell me how you feel when you get to that main event or when you get to the co-main event. You're not going for the jabs. The mediocre bars that might get a chuckle if it was the first battle, if for the second battle, it's getting nada. It's getting nada after 10 hours of standing on my feet. It's getting nada after not having no food. They did have water. I'm not going to say they didn't have water. But it's getting nada after I've been drinking Hennessy all day. Those surface level bars with no excitement that might usually get me to think about it if I hear you say I know, I need to know the first time you say it. That's what the big stage is about. The first time I hear it. Not about my reaction 5-10 seconds later. What is my initial reaction when I hear the bar? What is the crowd's reaction when I initially hear the bar? What is the bar itself? Now, sometimes the lack of crowd reaction and sometimes having too much crowd reaction can sway a battle for sure. But this ain't that. JC, you got 30 by Tsu Surf. You got your soul lifted at 75%. 75% of Tsu Surf, who had Rolling Loud, who was shooting a documentary, 30 JC at Summer Madness. Oh, I can't wait to talk about this swamp battle. Oh boy, I can't wait to talk about this swamp battle tonight. I can't wait to talk this Cal versus Easy tonight. Make sure that y'all pull up. You know what's going down. 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Temperature check Tuesdays. I'm in the building with my brother Deadass Talk. And yes, we are going to be getting back to these battle rap interviews. We got a couple lined up in the next few weeks. It is a movie. We got Bags and Body going down. Queen of the Ring cooking. We got Murder Mook versus Geeksy Gotti going down in November on the URL. It's a movie, man. Shout out to everybody. Shout out to the battle rap community. Man, make sure that y'all like, comment, subscribe to the channel, and you know the motto. We just getting started. Salute.